Buongiorno everyone, welcome back to Lineup Predictions. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Sheffield United, the opponents tomorrow night, away at Bramall Lane, 6 o'clock kickoff, live on Sky, 15th versus 20th. 20th Sheffield United. They're not just bottom of the table, they're fucking rock bottom. Only 2 points picked up this season. We're almost in mid-January, and they haven't even managed to get 3 points accumulated in draws. 0 wins, 2 draws this season. From a possible 51 points to pick up, we currently have 19. We've had 5 wins, 4 draws, and even when you look at the goals, I've got it noted down here, they've scored 8 goals this season, conceded 29. We've got 18 goals, conceded 26, so only 3 fewer goals conceded between the two. But 10 goals scored, 8 of those for us were all Callum Wilson. The others maybe Jeff Hendrick, second top goal scorer of the season. But despite all that, despite only having 2 draws to their name this season, 8 goals scored, the bookies have Sheffield as the favourites. The fucking favourites. They played the other day against Bristol Rovers in the Cup, just scraped through. I think that was 3-2 or 4-3, it was pretty close. And Sheffield's the favourites, man. If this doesn't scream to the pundits that still suck off Bruce, saying, oh, he's doing a good job, mate, Sheffield United are favourites against them, man. That's how bad this has been. We've scored 1 goal in 8 hours of football. Like, when was our last win? It was West Brom. That seemed like a lifetime ago. How many games has there been since then? About 7 or 8? Like, there's been... Oh, man. I know we've had a pretty tough run in. Leeds are a great team. We got well done off Leeds. Then we had Man City, Liverpool, Leicester, all great teams. Arsenal as well, out of the Cup. Good teams. It's been tough. We could really have done better. Now, this game, if you've been watching Lineup Predictions for the last few weeks, I've been pinpointing this game as a must win. After that tough run-in, which it really has been, we can't really help that, but this one, bottom of the table, 2 points. There's no better time really to raise the spirits, and we've got to change things up. We cannot be negative going into this game. I don't want to see any fucking BRUCIEBALL, 5 at the back. Ooh, let them have all the possession, let them have all the chances. Nah, I'm not having it this game. Like, we need to go there tomorrow, Bramall Lane, and put on a show. We need to get 3 points on the board. If they come away, like, a point's bad enough, but if they come away with their first win of the season, honestly, there's absolutely no excusing it. And I know people will still be on the Brucey bandwagon saying, oh, Bruce out, Bruce out. Like, it's not going to happen. As much as I wish for Bruce to be out, realistically, it's not going to happen. Into the team news there then, Steve Bruce said this afternoon, there's going to be a certain freshness about the team, and I've been looking around and we have got quite a lot of players fit, to be fair. Like, I'm not really sure how fatigue's sitting. Like, there was a few players the other day that did look knackered. A few left out for rotation reasons. John Joe Shelvey being one of them, Callum Wilson being one, Fabian Schär, Federico Fernandez, Carl Darlow. So they've all had a rest. They stayed at home. Well, I think a few of them stayed at home. Schär, Fernandez and Darlow stayed home, didn't travel to London. So that's good, because we have had like quite a few away games lately, and we're going down to Sheffield tomorrow. So yeah, it's good that we've got that certain freshness. Hopefully they've had a good rest and they can be going into that game fit, raring to go. Jamal Lascelles, he came back for his first performance in quite a long time the other day, but you can tell the fatigue was still there. He was knackered. Only lasted 45 minutes, had to come off at half time. So will we be seeing Lascelles again? I wouldn't be risking it. There's Kieran Clark. He had a really good 90 minutes against Arsenal, but after extra time he was absolutely knackered, or pretty much at fault for both of the goals really. But there was no subs on the bench. Like, we said this in the match review, like, why was there no subs there? We could have had 9, we only had 7. And like, we've got the likes of Schär and Fernandez staying at home. Why didn't one of them travel just to sit on the bench, just for that extra cover? We could have brought in Ludwig Francelet, any one of the youngsters, just to give them a go, but Anyway, that was then, so we'll see what goes on. I'll get into my lineup prediction in a minute. Bruce also mentioned Elliot Anderson made his debut the other day, had a great game, really happy to see him. And that's what I mean about like Francelet. There could have been a couple of the youngsters, Rodrigo Vilca, a couple of them could have been named on that bench just for first team experience. Like, you didn't need to use them, but just having a couple extra options on the bench really wouldn't have gone amiss. Like, Anderson got on, and that's great. He really had a good game. Brucey's happy with him, says he's pleased with his progress. There's been a lot of calls for him to be in this game from the start, really. Either from the bench or from the starting 11. I'd be over the moon to see Elliot Anderson be given a shot. Like, why not? Like I say, it's Sheffield United. Like, they're bottom of the table, 2 points. Put a hungry youngster in. We've seen what happens time and time again when youngsters be given a chance. Matty Longstaff last season, his Premier League debut, scored the winning goal at home to Man United at the Gallagher end. That's what dreams are made of. So, will Anderson be included? Let me get into my prediction right now. Starting in goal, which is a talking point. Bruce mentioned this in his press conference as well. He's got some thought to do. It's going to be a tough choice. But will that be a choice? Like, yeah, Dubravka's back now. Dubravka's fit. But Darlow's been our hero this season. Bruce did say a couple of weeks ago that Darlow is the number one now after his performances this season, and rightly so. Fully deserved. Dubravka came back the other day and played great. Clean sheet in 90 minutes. But what will he do? I do expect him to stick with Carl Darlow, so he's going to be my goalkeeper going into this one. Dubravka, in the league now that we're out of the cup, he's going to have to wait his turn. Who knows when we'll next see him, as long as Carl Darlow's still putting in these performances, because Premier League's all we've got now. No more cup competitions. We're out of both of them. So, yeah, Dubravka's just going to have to wait his turn to get his foot back in the door. And before I go on, I will just say that this has actually been really tough. Like I say, and like Brucey says, there's a lot of fitness now. We have actually got quite a few players back now. So, it's a tough choice. And with 9 on the bench as well, there's still going to be 4 or 5 missing out of this squad entirely. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say what I would like to see, what I think we should do more than an actual prediction, instead of putting myself in Brucey's shoes, which I try and do, which is a fucking dark place to be. You don't want to be in Brucey's shoes. Jesus Christ, they're covered in fucking ketchup and all sorts. But yeah, so what I want to do, not my prediction, is I'm going to play 4 at the back. Like I say, we've got to go for it. I predict 5 at the back. I really do. If I'm making a prediction, we're playing 5 at the back, a 5-2-3, a 5-4-1, whatever it is. I do thoroughly expect to see that, but we really, really can't, man. It's criminal if we don't really go to Sheffield here. So I want to see 4 at the back. I'll start at right back and I'll put in DeAndre Yedlin. He came on as a substitute the other day against Arsenal, and I thought he did okay. It was really tough. Kieran Tierney, there was three right backs throughout that game, starting with Kraft, then Murphy, and then Yedlin. But Kieran Tierney had a really, really good game. All 3 of them couldn't really keep up with him. But yeah, Yedlin has really been impressing me. If you watched the last video, the Leicester one, the title was, I never thought I would say this, and I really didn't. I never thought I would ever want to see DeAndre Yedlin in the starting lineup, but he's been fairly consistent for the last 3-4 games. I'd like to keep up with that, especially when I get down to who I want to play on the right wing. But yeah, Yedlin for me, probably a better option than Kraft. Manquillo's maybe still not fully fit, so yeah, Yedlin for me. And the centre-backs, we'll be playing the 2 that were rested the other day, Fabian Shaw and Federico Fernandez. Let's say Kieran Clark, he was knackered the other day. He's another one that's been playing a lot of games lately. He's been playing 90 minutes for each of the last few games, so it's not so surprising he was knackered after 90 minutes. I say the 90 minutes were great afterwards. Knackered, as well as Jamal Lascelles. He could only last 45 minutes, so I wouldn't expect to see either of them, especially not if we're playing 4 at the back. If we play the 5 defensive, then one of them's got to step up. I would probably say Clark ahead of Lascelles, but nah, I don't want to see that. Shaw and Fernandez stayed at home the other day. Hopefully they should be fully fit, so get them 2 in there. With Matt Ritchie at left back, that's another one I don't want to see. I'm not Ritchie's biggest fan. As a full back, as a wing back is a much better position. He benefits more from playing 5 at the back. But Jamal Lewis, not Lascelles, Jamal Lewis, He had was it a knee injury picked up a couple of weeks ago. Brucey didn't mention anything about him in the press conference just yet. I doubt he'll be fully fit, so we'll stick with Matt Ritchie for now. The other option is Paul Dummett, but I'm not a big fan of Dummett at fullback. Like, I don't really want to see him there, but he is an option depending on fatigue. That might be something that we need to look into. Potentially starting Paul Dummett, depending on how fit Matt Ritchie is. The centre mids, I really would like to see Isaac Hayden. I'm not sure where he stands on the fitness scale or the injury front. He was hobbling around at the end of the Arsenal game in the build-up to the second goal being scored when Lacazette headed it onto Smith Rowe. Lacazette fell onto his ankle. He was on the sidelines for a couple of minutes. He looked in real pain. He was hobbling around for the rest of the game. So, don't know how fit he is. Brucey never mentioned any injuries, no struggles or anything. So that may be good news, but fatigue might be an issue. He's another one that's played a lot. I think he probably benefited from being suspended again in the Leicester game. That was probably a good thing for him, really, to sit that one out, let him get a little bit re-energised. But I definitely don't want to see him playing centre-back again. Every time he steps in at centre-back, he's outstanding, he's brilliant, but he's too important in centre-mid. He's the proper workhorse, the rock in the middle of the park. So, yeah, don't want to see him playing centre-back. Hopefully he's fit enough to get in the starting lineup and play centre-mid alongside Matty Longstaff. He's another one that had a rest. That's quite a lot. I'm looking at my starting 11 here, and most of them got a good rest. Like, most of them didn't start against Arsenal, so this team should be fit and fresh, ready to go against Sheffield United. But yeah, Matty Longstaff was an unused sub the other day. He's the best option we have alongside Hayden at centre mid. Shelby's been poor lately. His brother Sean's been horrendous. I thought Jeff Hendrick had a decent game the other day in centre mid, but you don't really want to see him playing too regularly, do you? In rotation, like, we brought him in for a squad rotation player. I don't mind that every now and then. Get a game son, no worries, but you don't want to see him starting week in, week out. Whereas Matty, you don't mind. Matty and Hayden, currently, based on form, the best two centre midfield, the best two central midfield partnership that we'll have. So, yeah, get them two in there. Then to finish off the formation, to show you what I would like to see, and we've been saying it all season, our best formation when the best players are available. 4-2-3-1, Brucey. Give it a go if you want, sunshine. It does alright. We played that just before lockdown last season. Finally reverted from 5 at the back. Ooh, we'll give this formation a go. Ooh, we'll get some really good results. The players fit into this formation really well. Had a few good games playing that, and then just thought, now we'll just not do that anymore. Haven't seen it since, and look what's happened. We've been shit. So yes, Brucey, if you wouldn't mind playing 4-2-3-1, that would be fantastic, thanks. And we'll be playing Jacob Murphy on the right-hand side. I'm becoming a big fan of Murphy. Every time he gets a go, he looks great. Good delivery. Great pace and energy on the right-hand side, which is where he links up well with Yedlin, in my opinion. I think them two are both very similar players. Yeah, pace, energy, decent delivery, great attacking. But what's good about them now that Murphy's almost a half-converted wing-back is that they can cover for each other. I think them two could work in tandem brilliantly together. I'd like to see them be given a bit more of an opportunity to do that. If Yedlin's on a run forward, Murphy can drop back and cover for him, vice versa. Yeah, I think them two are a good partnership on that side. So I would like to see that with... And this one's a bit of a risky one, but, well, it's not a risk if you play him in the fucking right position. Miggy Almiron in the number 10 role, where he should be. He's been very unimpressive recently. I'm almost getting a little bit fed up with Miggy Almiron, to be honest. Like, he did all right, to be fair, in the second half against Arsenal. First half was poor. Second half, he got into it, really. He was trying to make things happen. He did look a lot better, but he's just not a winger. I think Miggy Almiron needs people around him. Like, when he's by himself, like on the wing, when he gets forward, he doesn't really know how to take players on. He hasn't got the best delivery into the box. Like, he just looks isolated when he's outside, like on the wings. But in the more number 10 role, where he's got wingers, he's got a striker in front of him, he's got wing backs coming out on the other side, he's got the central midfielders behind him, he's got players around him, and I think that's where he excels. Like, being out on the wing, trying to beat people and get a cross in, he can't do it. He's not a winger, in my opinion. So stick him in the right position. Hopefully we'll get better results out of him. But who to play on the left-hand side? This one's a big one for me, and I'm going to stick my neck out on the line, and it might be a bit risky, but let's admit it, we'd all love to see it. Bring back Ryan Fraser. Where is he? I thought he might have at least getting on the bench against Arsenal. He's been pictured back in training for the last couple of weeks, really. He's said to be fit. Bruce said that he will be fit a week or so ago. So, will he be fit enough to start? Probably not. It will be a bit of a risk, but I can't wait to get him back in. Like, Sir Maximin's still out. We're still not going to see him for another couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks maybe. Joe Linton, he's been playing on the left-hand side lately. He hasn't really been impressing either. You don't really want to see him anywhere else, really. Certainly not up front. So, yeah, drop Joey for this one. Hopefully Fraser's fit enough. And we don't really want to see Hendrick either. That's where this formation is a little bit risky. We'd have to switch things up. Maybe play Richie on the wing if Dummett fills in at fullback. That's the best we can do for now. But honestly, if Ryan Fraser's fit, I would love to see him get a go. Maybe just an hour run out. Maybe mix things up in the second half. But to get him in, start him. When he's played this season, briefly, we haven't really seen much of him. Certainly haven't seen the best out of him. But we need to see more minutes of him. And linking up with Callum Wilson up front, the two Bournemouth boys. That's the way it's got to be. And Wilson, he was another one rested the other day. He stayed at home. So, yeah, hopefully that team will be more... Like, it will be. It's got to be. Surely, that team there... The defence may be a little bit sketchy if Shaw's not on it. I think he usually does better in a 5 at the back as well with more cover around him. Richie and Yedlin may be a little bit suspect on the wing backs, but that team for me is more than capable of beating 2-point Sheffield United. It has to be. But being honest with myself, we probably will be playing a 5-2-3, is it? 5-2-3, that's probably what we will be playing. But we'll see what happens. I'm not looking forward to the lineup being announced tomorrow night, because if it is that, I'm going to be fucking raging. Like, I want to see this. I want to see my team. Like, obviously pending Fraser's fitness, but we'll have a look at the bench and see who's going to be staying out. This is my bench. Dubravka is the cover, of course, in goal. Got Emil Kraft, Kieran Clark and Paul Dummett, who all started the other day. Sean Longstaff, Hendrick and Joe Linton all started the other day, with Dwight Gale and Andy Carroll as an option. Hopefully Carroll's fit enough. He was our man of the match the other day. He was brilliant, but missed a couple of golden opportunities to win the game, which was absolute criminal to miss. People might be calling for him to start, but I doubt he will after playing... What he played? He didn't play the full 120 minutes. He played 105 minutes up and down the pitch, centre back, forward, wherever. He was brilliant. So I doubt Carroll will be in the starting lineup. But those who I've got missing out there, obviously Jamal Lewis, who isn't expected to be fit. Jamal Lascelles, who I would probably leave home because he still looks absolutely pagad. So Javier Manquillo, John Joe Shelvey. I'm missing John Joe Shelvey out. I'd probably rather see him there than Sean Longstaff and Hendrick, to be fair, but he's just kind of gone missing. I don't know if he's fully fit yet. He had a groin operation at the start of, was it last month? About a month or two ago. He had a groin operation, hasn't really been fit or in form since. So if he's still got some rehabilitation to be getting on with, let him get on with it. But the big omission for me, and I do expect him to be omitted, although I'd be raging about it, will be Elliot Anderson. I say there's calls for him to start. Maybe for Fraser. Maybe get Anderson in the starting lineup for Fraser if he's not fully fit. Maybe for Almiron. Maybe it's for Almiron, but I want to give Almiron a shot in the number 10 role. But I just don't really know where Anderson fits in when we've got players fit, when we've got so many players fit. Like, if there was a few more injured, still struggling with fatigue, then you could get him in there. But he's not going to lose Joe Linton a place, not on the bench. Not Gale or Carroll, I wouldn't imagine. Not Hendrick. Yeah, I just don't know where Anderson fills in for me, unfortunately. Let's say I would love to see him get in. Yeah, the only thing can really be if Fraser's not fully fit, or Richie maybe can fill a spot on the bench. But that's where it is for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Get a score prediction in as well. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 Newcastle win, despite the bookies thinking that Sheffield's going to win. We've just got to go for it. Hopefully stay solid at the back, keep them out. Another clean sheet for Carl Darlow, because I've got him as my captain in fantasy team. And yeah, that's it. Let me know your thoughts. Join us tomorrow for the live watch along and all the post-match content to come. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and enjoy yourself.